Item Number: SCP-2535. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-2535 is to be sealed off from the public under the cover of health and safety reasons. A team of at least 2 agents is to be stationed in an adjacent building for observation purposes at all times. Where possible, the interior of SCP-2535 is to be soundproofed. Excess material generated within SCP-2535 is to be collected and disposed of daily. Description: SCP-2535 is the former 2-story Hewlett-Packard branch office building located in the Shaoshan district of Hangzhou, China. It contains an intricate network of electrical and biological components of unknown origin. In particular, covering the walls of the entire first story of SCP-2535 are 63,512 USB 2.0 standard sockets embedded at semi-regular intervals of roughly 20 cm in a grid pattern. Each socket is connected to a network of wires running throughout the walls, consisting of strands of copper interwoven with human optic nerve tissue and encased in a keratin sheath. For reasons unknown, the temperature of each USB socket, as well as that of the wires, remains at a constant 47.6 degrees Celsius regardless of external temperature. Furthermore, despite being partially composed of biological material, the wires have not exhibited any sign of decay or deterioration since initial containment. These wires branch out from clusters running vertically throughout the load-bearing pillars of the building and terminate in a room located on the second floor, presumed to be the former server room. The room is currently inaccessible, as its only entrance has been obstructed from the inside by what non-intrusive imaging methods have determined as a continuous solid biological mass. Ballistic means of ingress have been deemed unnecessarily destructive, and thus have not been attempted. The inside of the room, like the other anomalous electrical and biological components of SCP-2535, constantly emits heat at a temperature of 47.6 degrees Celsius. Personnel within the vicinity of the room occasionally report the smell of ozone and sulfur emanating from within, along with loud printer noises. 317 of the USB socket and power outlets of SCP-2535 have been connected to HP brand USB 2.0 compatible electronic devices. Of these, 20 possess anomalous, possibly ectoentropic function. See below for details. The remainder have been catalogued and moved to the adjacent Provisional Observations Site 2535 for storage. 5 former employees of Hewlett-Packard's Hangzhou branch are located in various rooms within SCP-2535. The bodies of these 5 individuals are in an anomalous state of biological suspension, requiring no sleep, water, or food despite being perpetually conscious. They have remained virtually unchanged in their states since initial discovery and acquisition in April 2013. Any attempt to extricate them from their predicaments appears to be physically impossible, as the devices binding them are unable to be unplugged or disassembled by any means whatsoever. The list of employees within SCP-2535 consists of Guo Pingping, former branch manager of the Hewlett-Packard Hangzhou branch. Guo is located in the bathroom nearest to the receptionist's desk on the first floor. His head has been forced into the feed tray of a continuously operating USB 2.0 compatible HP DeskJet 1112 printer plugged into the wall. Although this would be fatal to an ordinary human, the remainder of Guo's body continues to kick and thrash as if in pain. James Guyong-sun, former assistant branch manager of the Hewlett-Packard Hangzhou branch. Gu is located in the employee's pantry on the second floor. His body has been secured vertically to the wall via 92 20-inch USB 2.0 cables. The actuating unit of a HP DeskJet 2540 all-in-one printer has been similarly secured to Gu's lower jaw via 5 10-inch USB 2.0 cables. Attached to the arm of the actuating unit is a single HP 10 black original ink cartridge. The actuating unit has been modified to run on USB power sources and is itself plugged into a USB socket via an adapter. It continuously rams the ink cartridge into Gu's throat at a rate of 1 stroke per second. The ink cartridge is hypothesized to contain an anomalous amount of ink, as it has yet to run dry. Gu himself is partly conscious, and responds incoherently to vocal stimuli. Angel Li Huimin, former Human Resources Department head of the Hewlett-Packard Hangzhou branch. Li is located in her former office on the second floor. Similarly to Gu, she has been secured to the wall via 89 20-inch USB 2.0 mm cables. Another cable of indeterminate length has been inserted into her lower abdomen via a 5 mm wide fistula. She continuously vomits a stream of thermal receipt paper from her mouth and appears to be in great distress as a result. Her abdomen is slightly distended. It is inferred from palpitations and analysis of the sounds produced from her abdomen that there is a fully operating HP USB single-station thermal receipt printer located in the vicinity of her jejunum. Wang Lian, former IT department head of the Hewlett-Packard Hangzhou branch. Wang is located near the water cooler on the first floor. He is secured in a standing position against the wall via 37 20-inch USB 2.0 mm cables. Pressed against his body are 12 HP ScanJet 200 scanners, all in continuous operation. Beside him is a HP DeskJet 1112 printer attached to the wall, also in constant operation. However, instead of paper, it produces A4 sized sheets of human epidermal tissue matching Wang's skin tone. Wang is conscious but unable to respond coherently due to his near-constant screaming. Chen Yupeng, trainee technical writer. Chen is located in the branch manager's office on the second floor. His body has been fitted inside the paper tray and backup paper tray of a HP LaserJet Pro 500 multifunction printer, which has been plugged into the wall via a standard power cable and a 3 feet USB 2.0 mm cable. An aperture has been cut into the side of the printer, from which his head protrudes. The printer alternates between producing copies of the HP Standard Print Quality Diagnostic Page and the HP LaserJet 500 Technical Repair Manual. Since discovery, it has not run out of paper or ink. Chen is unconscious and displays signs of severe blood loss. These 5 individuals were reported missing in May 2013, 1 month after the closure of the Hangzhou branch office due to international downsizing measures. Additionally, a Canon Pixma E480 printer is located in the janitor's closet on the first floor. It bears human teeth marks and dents across its exterior, along with chemical damage indicating application of concentrated liquid bleach. Since its discovery, it has been attempting to print a 91-page document to no effect, as its paper tray appears to have been improperly loaded such that the topmost sheets have crumpled up and jammed the feed mechanism. The seams of the Canon Pixma E480 periodically leak human blood. DNA matches that of Yan Xiaoxia, a creative consultant formerly under the employment of the Hewlett-Packard Hangzhou branch, who was reported missing at about the same time as the 5 Hewlett-Packard employees. Item number: SCP-2124. Object Class: Safe, pending review following Test 2124-09. Special Containment Procedures: SCP-2124 should be kept in a secure storage locker, sized at least 50 cm by 50 cm by 10 cm. This locker should be kept sterile, free of moisture and airtight whenever practicable in order to prevent SCP-2124 from deteriorating. A foam insert molded to fit a 20 cm length kitchen knife has been added to the inside of SCP-2124 following Test 2124-04 and, while removable, should be kept in place during approved tests pending approval from a senior researcher or other staff member of Level 3 clearance or above. Any instances of SCP-2124-1 must be returned to the box, ideally to the molded insert, during standard storage. Following Test 2124-09, testing of SCP-2124 is forbidden unless directly supervised by a staff member of Level 4 clearance or above. Description: SCP-2124 is a large-sized pizza box, made out of double-layered brown cardboard. SCP-2124 contains grease residue and upon initial discovery showed early signs of mold growth, removed upon standard sterilization procedure, but is otherwise in good condition for its age. Written in black ink, presumably by a black felt tip pen, Upon the top of the box is the message, "Careful. Invisible knife in box." All components of SCP-2124, including the ink on the warning, appear to be made of standard material with no anomalous properties. SCP-2124 is as vulnerable to damage as any cardboard pizza box, and care should be taken during testing to avoid any deterioration. A human being attempting to consciously pick up the knife, or find the knife, is successful in finding such an object, designated an instance of SCP-2124-1. Subjects describing SCP-2124-1 frequently describe it using the following terms. It feels almost like empty air. It feels like I could crush it. It might slip out of my hand if I close it too hard. SCP-2124-1 has no detectable weight or measurable presence, other than the, often uncertain, word of the subject holding the instance that they are holding the object. However, when instructed to cut objects using an instance of SCP-2124-1, the object is cut in a manner consistent with a sharp kitchen knife. SCP-2124-1 is able to cut through soft objects with no appreciable effort, through meat and firm objects with simple effort, through bone with moderate effort, and through steel with considerable effort. Exact dimensions and properties of instances of SCP-2124-1 appears to vary with test subject and testing conditions. See the abridged test log, below, for additional information. The interior of SCP-2124 appears to be empty to standard inspection, without any evidence of an instance of SCP-2124-1. All non-human interaction, sweeping with tongs, brushes, metal detectors, with the interior produces results consistent with an empty box. Blindly feeling around the interior of SCP-2124 also produces the same result. Test 2124-03, February 9, 2012. Subject, Researcher Clarent, under outside observation from Senior Researcher Knight and associated researchers. Events. After tests 2124-01 and 2124-02 established the general properties of SCP-2124, Researcher Clarent tested the ability of SCP-2124-1 to cut various objects, especially those that are not normally easily damaged by a standard kitchen knife. All tests were performed in a standard Foundation testing room. Objects successfully cut. Falling silk handkerchief, small piece of SCP-2124, T-bone steak from standard Black Angus cow, stainless steel screw. Objects unsuccessfully cut. 2-carat diamond, Foundation containment grade reinforced steel, material from some SCP, testing room security door, minor scratches sustained, Researcher Clarent's work obligations, as tested by Clarent by swinging at the air around her, saying, "It was worth a try." Test 2124-06, February 19, 2012. Subjects. D-Class Personnel D-903, D-108, D-299, as supervised by Senior Researcher Knight and Associates. Events. D-903 and D-108 were instructed to enter the testing area. D-903 was instructed to pick up the knife, then demonstrate its effects on a provided plate of butter by plunging SCP-2124-1 as deep into the butter as possible. This was accomplished without incident. To a depth of 20 centimeters, D-108 was instructed to take a new knife from SCP-2124. D-108 attempted to retrieve an instance of SCP-2124-1, but failed and declared SCP-2124 to be empty. D-903 was instructed to hand the knife to D-108 handle first. D-903 expressed difficulty in properly grasping the knife by the safe bit of the blade, but managed to do so without issue. D-108 proceeded to confirm that they were holding a knife, and demonstrated on the provided butter, to a depth of 22.5 centimeters. At this point, D-299 was instructed to enter the testing area and subjects D-903 and D-108 were instructed to stand back and say nothing. D-299 was instructed to pick up a knife from the box and insert it into the butter as deep as it would go. D299 was successful in inserting the instance of SCP-2124-1 to a depth of 20 centimeters. D108 insisted that he still had the knife, and demonstrated this fact by successfully slashing at the butter. All three D-Class expressed confusion, and D903 insisted that he held no knife and waved his open hand at the butter to demonstrate. D108 and D299 were instructed to place both their knives inside SCP-2124, which was successfully performed. All D-Class personnel were then instructed to take a knife from SCP-2124. Only D903, who attempted to take an instance of SCP-2124-1 first, was successful. D299 and D108 both insisted that SCP-2124 was empty and contained no knife. D903 complied with instructions to place the knife back into SCP-2124, and testing was concluded. Test 2124-09, April 21, 2013. Subjects: D-Class personnel D788, D600, and D962, as supervised by Senior Researcher Knight. Events: D-Class were told that effects of SCP-2124-1 would be tested against itself as well as standard materials. D-Class were instructed to do something. Following extensive testing and security intervention following the unruly behavior from D600, all instances of SCP-2124-1 were placed back in SCP-2124, and testing was concluded. Addendum: 21 hours following the test, D788 succeeded in escaping their cell and severely injuring one member of security personnel before being tranquilized. D788 claimed that you only need to see the box once, if you know how. D788 proved, under interrogation, that they were capable of producing an instance of SCP-2124-1. This instance varied significantly from the measurements of the molded insert placed in SCP-2124. When interrogated, D600 and D962 were incapable of producing SCP-2124-1 without taking it from SCP-2124. After Test 2124-02, it is recommended that subjects testing SCP-2124 are instructed to pick up the handle of the knife. Item Number: SCP-2463. Object Class: Safe. Special Containment Procedures: each instance of SCP-2463 is to be kept in a separate standard containment locker at Site-19. At no point should any instance of SCP-2463 come into contact with any other instance of SCP-2463. Access to single instances of SCP-2463 is restricted to personnel with security clearance of 3 or higher, and access to multiple instances is not permitted at this time. Any personnel found attempting to remove any number of SCP-2463 instances from designated testing rooms are to be immediately detained and held for questioning. Description: SCP-2463 is a set of 6 bronze horses, each approximately 6 centimeters tall, and believed to be ancient Roman in origin. Various dating methods have placed the creation of SCP-2463 at circa 250 CE. SCP-2463's anomalous properties begin to manifest when instances are exposed to water collected from naturally occurring sources. SCP-2463 instances that are exposed to any such water will begin converting the water into petroleum through an unknown process. This conversion takes place at a rate of approximately 63 milliliters per hour. If separate instances of SCP-2463 come into physical contact, this conversion rate will scale exponentially with the number of instances, so that when all 6 instances are in contact, the conversion will occur at a rate of approximately 62,523,502 liters per hour, allowing large volumes of water to be converted very quickly. SCP-2463 was discovered during a raid on a storage facility somewhere in New York, which was believed to be owned by Marshall, Carter, and Dark LLP. The raid was conducted by Mobile Task Force MU3, highest bidders, and resulted in recovery of SCP-2463 as well as SCP-2635 and SCP-1738, along with several documents and items currently awaiting cataloging. MTFM-3 was discovered during their mission, and as a result, several Foundation personnel were killed in the course of duty. SCP-2463 was briefly activated during recovery, but was successfully contained by remaining MTFM-3 operatives. For further information on the recovery of SCP-2463, consult Recovery Log 2463. Addendum 2463-1. In addition to SCP-2463, MTFM-3 also recovered a Marshall, Carter, and Dark item listing for the object. This document has been designated as Document 2463-1. Addendum 2463-2, found with Document 2463-1, was a transcript of a letter believed to have been translated from Ancient Latin, written to the Roman Emperor Gallienus by an as of yet unidentified person. For a transcript of this letter, see below. Document 2463-2.
To Imperator Publius Licinius Ignatius Gallienus Augustus. We are deeply saddened to learn of the death of your great father, and write to you in order to settle a pressing matter of business left unresolved by the venerable emperor. Shortly after his capture at Edessa by Shah Shapur, your father wrote to us from Shapur, seeking aid on behalf of the empire. On his request, we have procured a number of items that we believe met the needs he expressed. We will happily pass along these items to you, so long as we are paid the price that was arranged by your honorable father, that being a sum of 60 million aurei. We are aware that the price seems extreme, but so were the demands of your father. A force to wipe out the Persian dogs. To make barren their lands, and sickly their people. A force to destroy every square foot on which they have ever walked and to plague their kingdom with bloodshed for millennia. These were the feats required of us by the deific Valerianus, and for this power we must ask for equal remuneration. Should you decide not to pay, we shall retain possession of the items until the time when we are paid what we have asked. Your loyal servant, Demarcator.
Thanks for watching.